Every day, our world gets a little more connected, but a little further apart. But then, there are moments that remind us to be more human.
Thank you for calling Amica Insurance.
Hey, I was just in an accident.
Don't worry, we'll get you taken care of.
At Amica, we understand that looking out for each other isn't new or groundbreaking. It's human. Amica, empathy is our best policy.
Justin and so good. Thousands of new fall deals have arrived at Nordstrom Rack stores, and that means thousands of fresh reasons to rack.
Because fall equals sweaters.
Why do I rack? Because check out these boots.
Because there's always something new.
Save big with up to 60% off Vince, Steve Madden, Kurt Geiger London, Theory, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while stumbling into art conversations and nixing fictional sexual partners.
Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs! I hope you're ready to hear Sabrina lose her ever-loving mind over a character. Before we get to that, though, if you're a patron, you can expect the playback of our Magic Mike XXL watch party and a bonus quickie episode on Immortals After Dark Book 4, Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night. It's a Sebastian werewolf and a super pissed off baby witch and a run before my beast takes over and sex mauls you. And we loved it. So that's on patreon.com/Heaving Bosoms podcast. Okay, this week we're jumping into a contemporary queer polyamorous romance that had Sabrina and I so keyed up that I had to cut a full hour of our nattering and side quests. I am not joking. Here's part 1 of Triple Sec by TJ Alexander. Oh, hey, Sabrina.
Well, hello. Long time no see.
Yeah.
For real, though. We've had to reschedule a couple of times.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, Sabrina got schmacked in the face at her work job.
Sure did.
Wow.
But it's fixed.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel, you know how I get got a lot by Facebook ads? Because, like,
No,
Facebook algorithm ads has their finger on my pulse,
What?
you know? Like, just fully a throat collar hand
A
situation.
chokehold.
Yep. You remember that Instagram video that I sent you the other day about that place in England, Fifield Manor? And it was that
Oh.
older lady, like, showing off the place and with, like, Gen Z slang.
Yeah.
And she kept really intensely saying, like, swag.
Yes. Oh, wait, listener, can I just say that the only other video I remember Sabrina sending me around this time is this incredible musical dance about bisexuals. So I really didn't know where this was going.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye. I loved it. Oh my God.
We'll put both of these videos in the show notes.
Yeah, we gotta.
I'm in talks with that place. I'm about
Great.
to stay there for a couple of nights because of that lady saying swag. Really, like, beautiful British accent. Like, about this 880 gazillion-year-old fancy bed and breakfast that just happened to show up on my our algorithm, actually.
Our algorithm.
Our Insta-
This is so cool. Look, it works sometimes. Make yourself a viral video, y'all.
Yeah, make yourself. The point of this is, like, usually I get got for like a $30, like, for $30 for like 12 books.
Yeah.
No, I'm about to get got for like several £100s to go stay at this fucking Airbnb.
should,
And,
ma'am.
like-
Live your best life.
I need to stay off social media. I'm gonna lose all of my money. Yeah, so I got.
You got hard.
No, but the problem is what this means is Facebook had its finger on my pulse, and I'm pretty sure, like, I know that Instagram is like part of Facebook.
Yeah,
but,
they
like,
chitter chat quite a bit.
But like Instagram was still a little separate, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, it no longer is. Instagram is like, hey. Yeah, so we'll put a couple of the I'm gonna find one of those videos. There's gonna be a bunch of videos in the show notes for you, listener, okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
But yeah, I got. So I'm gonna stay at a beautiful B&B when I'm in England next
Sabrina,
month.
I cannot wait for you to make all of the reels and post all of the stories and show the HBs what living your best Instagram life is like.
I already have my outfits planned for the 2 nights that I'm staying at the B&B.
Yes.
I can't wait. There's like they're both floor length skirts, and like I'm gonna feel so Victorian.
Oh,
and, like,
it's so fancy.
I don't know why I said Victorian. Like I know what Victorian means. I'm gonna feel so England times.
That's the one. Yeah, you're too slutty to be Victorian. You know what I mean?
Whoa! Hang on. I had a very valid conversation with I think Kate on Instagram where we were talking about how I think it's the Victorian, some kind of England times. We need more historicals where it delves into the freaking crazy kinky shit, like showing off your nipple piercings at fancy dinner parties and shit like that. All of the crazy sex stuff that those old-timey people were into.
All right,
okay?
into it.
Where are those romances? Where are those?
I want those romances.
Authors out there?
Hey.
We want England times nipple piercings and stuff.
Do we ask for that much already? You know? Like, what are you even doing out there?
Yeah.
Romance authors?
Why are you listening to us right now? Go tippy tap, okay? Zippy zap, my friend. Zippy zap away.
We need you. You do a service for the world.
Yeah, and then you can come back and oh boy, you can come back and listen to us talk about how much we loved it. Well, I'm assuming you loved this book. I loved this book.
Yeah, I really, really, really liked it. There were a couple of things that I was just like, meh. But I think it's like here's the thing. I could not be BB's sexual partner. I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't.
So I do have the comment. So I actually, and you're going to see it because you're looking at my notes today, but in my notes I put, I really love BB, but unfortunately I am a BB.
We are not. We can't. We can't. Well, and here's the thing. Okay, listener, she self-describes as a pillow princess.
Yeah, okay, wait, hang
which
on.
I find
I'm
offensive
not
on its face, right?
Oh, interesting. I don't have a problem with her identifying that way, but like that's not how we're the same.
No, that's I don't know. I think the implications of what like a pillow princess are.
What the term is it's a
gross.
very negative term.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
and so I don't mind her self-identifying that way, but it did like almost give me an immediate ick, and I couldn't quite figure out why. But then I realized that like I am fine with treating sex as if I'm putting in a shift of work, okay? I am fine being very active in the process. And I think the thing is, like, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it, but, like, if my sexual partner, if I went down on my sexual partner from behind and then I had to hump their leg to get my own orgasm, like, I would have to look at my life and my choices.
Mel, this is a reason that you would not work in this relationship, right? Like this is not a throuple triad polyamory situation that you would do well in, and that's okay. Or you would not do well in from that perspective, right?
Yes,
like you wouldn't do well with a BB.
I would love to go to brunch with BB. I would love to hear all of BB's opinions. I would go anywhere with BB, honestly. But I can't have sex with her.
So what I'm hearing In theory, potentially. Maybe you don't feel the same way about Cade and Mel that I do.
Oh, I feel pretty good about him. I feel pretty good about him.
We're going to get to Mel. You're going to actually be seeing my notes this time, and multiple times in the notes, I'm like, why? Like, we'll get there. But
what is Cade
anyway,
doing? Where's Cade?
Okay, listener. Okay, we're just gonna jump in.
We
Okay,
gotta.
Oh, so we're doing Triple Sec by T.J. Alexander.
Yes.
This book, we just chose this one. Oh, hang on. We have patrons to thank.
Oh!
Hi, patrons.
Hello,
I'm so
gorgeous
sorry.
patrons.
We got a little distracted by the two newest loves of our life, and our newest best friend.
Although, oh no, I don't know that I could have sex with Mel either because the kink she finds. Like, her whole thing is, I want to be mean in bed, but mean specifically in, like, keeping things from people that they want. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Dommy.
I'm fine with Dommy. That's fine.
No, I know, but like she's a certain flavor of Dom.
Yeah, like with Cade, it was so mean when she wouldn't.
We can't. I have goosebumps right now, okay? We gotta move on, okay? We'll get there.
Hello, beautiful patrons. Hey, thank you so much for being part of the Patreon. We really, really love and appreciate you. If you're not already, hey, get in that Discord. Everybody on Patreon is welcome on the Discord, and, like, it's my happy place. It's incredible. I fucking love it in there.
Some weeks I see Mel more in Discord than I see Mel over text.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Hey, thanks and welcome to Mads and Bridget KM,
To Janelba P and Jessica J,
Yusra and Katie,
Catherine O and Coda,
Emily B and Benny,
Mike and Ba K.
Welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Come hang out with us. We
Yeah.
have a lot of fun there.
I hope you love it in there. And if you have suggestions, seriously, let some bitches know. Right now, we've decided that our next quasi deep dive is going to be the first 10 books in the Immortals After Dark series.
Ish. We don't
10-ish.
know exactly how many.
Yeah. 10-ish. If we need to take a break, then we will, and then we might come back to it. We might not. Listen, it's got to be loosey-goosey in Patreon, you know? But we both got a simultaneous obsession with reading those books, and so we're doing quickies on them, and we're excited about it. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And then you also get, like, roundup episodes. We do hangs. You get ad-free episodes over there. So yeah, come hang with us on Patreon.
Yeah. All right, we're jumping right into this because otherwise, one, we're going to be here 18 hours. I already asked Mel. I was like, how the fuck are we going to keep this from being an 18-part episode? So
Truly.
This is Triple Sec by T.J. Alexander, and I brought it to Mel because I was super excited about it. It has two female characters. It has a non-binary character, so it's like
it's poly,
extra queer and sapphic and poly, and it's not just like poly, they all come together. It is a previously existing poly couple, and it stays poly. It is still, like, by the end of the book, all of them are free to date other people outside of it, because, like, that was what I was really excited about, because like, so I'm poly, and so this book was written so beautifully and wonderfully.
I love that the HEA didn't end with a closed throuple.
Yeah, and so, like, for example, in the Viana Oniomo book that we did just for the cameras, it was definitely like a closed relationship at the end. They were a polyamorous relationship. They all loved each other, but it was them specific, and that's okay. And I loved that. It was beautiful, and that's totally wonderful. But I can't think of a romance off the top of my head where it's very clear that they were open at the beginning and it's all still open at the end.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. So we meet Melanie Sorrento. Oh, wait, Sabrina. The dedication.
Yeah, so the dedication acknowledgement is to all sluts everywhere, cheers. And so I did this book on audiobook. And when I heard that, I was like, well, hello. Hello there.
They're talking to me.
They're talking to me. And, like, let me tell you, the narrator for this was, like, fantastic. Did you audio this? I assumed you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Mel is a divorced lesbian at the moment.
Explicitly lesbian.
Explicitly. Yes, I loved it. And she's a bartender at like one of the hottest bars in New York City. It's called
Terror and Virtue.
which is a very hot name. I'm not going to lie to you. All right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so she's in like a rut in her life, you know, like she has a stable bartending gig. She lives with her BFF after her divorce. He asked her to move into his rent-stabilized apartment in the Lower East Side. And, like, I love him so much. And
Daniel's very cute.
Yeah, Daniel is a gay dude. And he is not explicitly poly for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Polyamory is so off of Mel's radar that because her best friend has like a quasi-regular dude, but then also hooks up with other dudes as well, she just assumes that his relationship with his partner isn't serious. She doesn't think he's poly. She just thinks like, oh, he doesn't like him as much as like he would if they were monogamous. That is how far polyamory is off her radar.
Oh my gosh, I will say, so this entire book is single point of view. It's third person single point of view, and being in Mel's head was very interesting because I've never felt that way about other partner. And so it was interesting seeing that, right? Where somebody ends up in it, like their struggle with polyamory from somebody with that point of view. And I just thought it was very interesting being in Mel's head.
Like she didn't quite understand it.
Oh yeah, she was like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
What I did like though is that the struggle wasn't jealousy. They acknowledge that jealousy exists. She acknowledges that it's a little bit weird for her. She doesn't know how to act around BB's wife, but they're never overtly jealous of each other. And like that jealousy is not the conflict at all.
Well, specifically, they never know what to call the person they get with. Her name's BB.
Yeah.
They don't never know what to call BB's wife.
Yeah.
They're like, coworker, associate.
Kissing associate.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's so cute. So Mel is working, and then this beautiful, like, curvy brunette walks in.
Vivacious. No, she is a blonde. She is vivacious. She is flirting with her.
And Mel's like, oh, am I gonna I don't go home with people, but like,
I
maybe
might.
It's time to get back on the horse, and I might go home with that one.
But explicitly for a one-night stand. Because she doesn't believe in love anymore, all right? She's broken.
She's
broken.
She's a Sebastian.
Yes.
She's a sad, broken boy.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, going into this, knowing that this was going to end up. Okay, so like, listener, I'm just going to tell you this, like, just so you're just giving you the heads up. Because Mel and I both felt this way, apparently. We went into this book knowing it would become a triad, right?
Right.
And we knew that it would end literally so we meet BB. BB's adorable. Mel is like, oh, hell yeah. And then
BB's like asking,
BB's wife.
Well, wait. BB's asking like if Mel wants to come to a dinner party at her house. And Mel's like, I work nights. And she's like, did I say dinner? I meant brunch. I'd love to have you over for brunch. Like unabashed, just asking her out, right? And then all of a sudden, BB's wife walks in and BB responds to them with just like a burst of effusive affection. Like she literally says like, darling, oh, and like, so then Mel is like, wait, was she not flirting with me the whole time? Because her manner with Mel doesn't change once her wife gets there at all. She's still flirting with Mel.
Confused.
I mean, I don't super blame her. You know what I mean? Like, especially with her background. Like, polyamory is not off my radar. And I would still be really confused because you just can't assume with anyone, right?
No, you can't.
Especially since the wife is also, like, very stoic.
Oh my God. By the way, listener, so this is when we meet Cade. St. Cloud, BB's wife, and this is the moment that I felt deeply in love.
Yeah.
Okay. To be clear, it's been a while since I've read a book where I was like legitimately deeply like in a real world. If I met this person, I'd be like, oh my God, yeah, you are.
Yeah, you would be a puddle. You'd be melting.
I would melt. I would also like I love BB. Again, like great best friends. She and I are too similar in the excitable state, right? So like
Absolutely.
we wouldn't work together.
We would
because,
take over
like,
the whole
there'd be no
space.
chill.
No.
There'd be no chill. There needs to be some chill, right?
Yeah.
Granted, there are a lot of things about Kate that we would struggle if we actually dated, right?
Of
like,
course.
I need a lot more reassurance.
Yes.
Softness, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, once Cade knows the score, they are very soft.
Hang on. Kate is harsh. Like, and it's not in a mean way. It's just in a very factual, blunt.
Okay, that's
I need
fair.
some baby bumpers, okay? I'm fragile.
Yeah, I hear that.
But anyway, it's going to be really clear this entire episode. I'm so sorry, listener.
Let's describe these very sexy people for listener. Okay, so Mel is like a tall, thin, very tatted and pierced butch lesbian with
her head's shaved.
Her head is shaved. She's got really toned arms that both have sleeves on them, okay? Multiple times BB talks about her forearms in a way that I found very appealing. Like, Mel is mouth-wateringly hot, right? And then BB. BB is this blonde. She's buxom. She's curvy. She's plump. She's got like perfectly tailored couture business attire. She wears like all of the bright colors and she matches that with her effusive personality. She is not afraid to ask for what she wants, but she also won't put pressure on anyone. And she is an employment lawyer by day and then just like a sexy vixen, you know, all the rest of the time.
And then Cade.
Oh,
Cade is about the same height as Mel. Cade has loose copper curls.
Yeah.
And
freckles.
elfin features. And wears cable knit sweaters and fun, funky skirts and outfits. And is super non-binary and androgynous and beautiful.
And it seems like both Cade and BB have been rich their whole lives. Like, they don't know how to not be
there's
rich.
no way.
No.
There's no way either of them have ever wondered where their next meal was coming from, right?
Cade is an artist of the fine arts, okay?
Cade's a sculptor.
Cade does some sculpting, yeah. Later on, we see a copper press of some sort that Cade has made that somehow, when you know a little bit of their backstory, does represent them as a child without their mother. And this is why I don't understand fine art. Everything's fine.
Oh my God. I was reading that scene. I was like I'm a
what?
Mel. I don't get art. I'm so sorry.
Listen, I appreciate it. It's nice.
It's pretty.
But like when oh my God, at the brunch they do, like Mel says yes. At the brunch they do, Mel is looking at one of their pieces and she's like, oh yeah, so what does it mean? And one of the other people is like, well, it's part of their love series. And she's like, ugh, like love is the most trite thing ever. And then she's like, well, what does it mean? And then BB says like, why don't we ask the artist? And then Cade goes, ugh, do not ask me to talk about my work. Oh, it's so much.
Well, and specifically Cade is like, I must not be very good at what by the way, you put way more emotion into that than Cade would have, right? Like
That's
Cade
fair.
is like very, very
Very
level,
stoic.
Right? Cade very much would have been literally is like
don't make me talk about my art.
I must be not very good at what I do if I have to explain it.
Yeah, if the art doesn't speak for itself, then I obviously have a long way to
Cade,
go.
I'm
Cade,
so
how
sorry.
the fuck am I supposed to
Cade,
know? It looks like a
I
knife.
am neurodivergent as fuck. I
Well,
need you to lay that shit out for me.
No.
That's why I don't get it.
That's not a neurodivergence thing. No, fuck that.
No. It is not literal enough for me specifically. Like I know for a fact that like it is not literal enough for me. Like art, I don't get it. I need some description here, okay? I need you to explain bit for bit. I'm not gonna lie. The copper piece, I loved that one because BB explained it. Right?
That's
BB
what I'm
was like,
saying.
this is the explanation. I was like, oh, but I was way more interested in that copper plating thing that science experiment that she was talking about.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I mean, can I watch Kate do anything? But like,
let me just sit in the corner, you know?
Can I watch? So fucking creepy. I'm so sorry. I will tone it down.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a house. It's your home, the place that's filled with memories. The early days of figuring it out, to the later years of still figuring it out. For the place you've put down roots, trust Amica Home Insurance. Amica, empathy is our best policy.
I never thought of it as a neurodivergence. That might be it, but like, how do you expect someone to know what you mean if they have zero context? How is that ever gonna happen?
No, but there are some people. Okay, so when I was younger, I went to the Getty. I remember this so vividly. So I went to the Getty in Southern California, right? And there was a bunch of there was a bunch of art. And the person I was with, I don't remember who it was, but I remember this so vividly. It was this like sculpture thing, and they were describing all of these things that it evoked and like the thoughts that it brought forth and all of these, and they were so inspired by this piece of art, and they had all of these feelings about, and I was like, made of metal. And it's not geometric.
When I was at the Getty, they had a bunch of really, really ancient fertility sculptures that I fucking loved. Because it was just like a bunch of full-bodied lady torsos everywhere. And it was amazing. And that was very inspiring to me. But like, you know what? Here's the thing. Okay? I am an uncultured swine, I understand that. But like, I feel the same way when I'm at wine tastings. I'm like, no, you can't taste that. I'm sorry. No, you're making it up right now. You're just pulling shit out of your asshole.
I'm getting nuance of
blackberry
bergamot.
and
And I'm like, it's a red wine.
There might be some cumin in there. I don't know.
This was aged in a whiskey barrel for 70 years. And I'm like, wouldn't that make it vinegar? Like, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I enjoy it. I am very inspired by other people's passion. But when a fine artist says something like, my work should speak for itself, like, no, it'll say something very different to me than it's saying to you.
So that's the idea.
And
is
that's
like,
also
the
part
idea
of
is
it.
that it. Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't say anything to me except it looks like that's acrylic. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, or like when people, oh my God, the worst is when, and this is obviously our very specific experiences with art, right? But like, again, I remember we were looking at this like field, right? And it was art of like a house, and like it was kind of stormy in the background, and maybe there was, I don't know, some trees and a barn, and the person started talking about like all like what this picture meant, and I'm like, it's a landscape. They're like, it evokes feelings of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, moo? Moo. It looks like there should be cows in it.
Well, and like, art does make me feel things, but
confused.
No. It makes me feel art evokes shit from me, but I don't understand the notion that your art is going to say exactly what you want it to say, and like that is a measure of whether or not you are a good artist if I get it. Without any context, without
I
any...
definitely disagree.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, Cade. Like, cool it a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Write a little bit more on the plaque beside it, and then people will get it, maybe.
We've jumped ahead a little bit. So
Sorry.
Mel does... No, you're fine. I did too. We just went on a 10-minute rant about art and how we don't understand it. Yeah. Like, it's pretty. That's my final statement.
Just check out the Heaving Bosoms Instagram and you will understand my art abilities. Okay?
Graphic design is your passion, Mel.
Generally, my thing in Canva is, can I read it and does it maybe make me laugh? And then it's probably fine. It's probably good.
I'm a comic girly, you know?
Yeah.
So Mel decides to go to this brunch, even though she's like super uncomfortable, right? Because she thinks BB's trying to cheat on Cade.
Yeah. So she says, oh, yeah, I'll help you up your mimosa game by bringing some Mandarin cordial. And BB is very excited about it. Yeah. But it's the best because she goes into this fancy high rise. Okay. And all I could picture was one of my former boss's apartments. And it's like, it's got its own sky terrace and shit. Like, it's wow, you know? I just pictured that, and she shows up with an old milk jug full of Mandarin cordial, because that's the only vessel she had that was big enough.
And the best thing is Cade's the one who opens the door just looking super chill, and they're like, oh, hello, Mel, right? And they say, and you brought liquid. And Mel's like, it's cordial. It's cordial. And they say, it's certainly a very friendly gesture. And she starts laughing, and Cade is just stone-faced.
Yeah, just like,
and
what?
She realizes
so funny?
that they weren't making a joke. And she's like, that's not, I mean, it's literally cordial. The kind you drink. And Cade's just like, aw. And then like ushers her into the apartment. Okay, I gotta say, the way that Mel constantly puts her foot in her mouth around Cade, I felt on such a deep, like, because I have friends like Cade who are just stone-faced, and like, I'll do some stupid shit, like, Cade, I am so sorry, I'm a hot mess. I'm so sorry, I'm a hot mess.
I'm sorry, I think I got my mess on you. I'm sorry.
So yeah, BB is so excited though, and immediately while they're all hanging out, Mel very quickly picks up that there's some weird vibes between these people, right? I have a question for you, Mel, based on this scene.
Ask me anything.
At one point, Mel comments on how weird it is and like how odd it is, how comfortable these people are with sharing cups. That's part of what makes her go, oh, these people are like weirdly close. And I share drinks with a lot of people I'm not sleeping with.
I think she means because of Cade's vibe specifically.
Oh.
Because Sawyer just grabs Cade's drink. And I think that Mel can't imagine a universe in which she would be comfortable doing that with Cade. Mm-hmm. I think that's it, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Because I know that some people don't like sharing drinks. That's totally fine.
I don't know that it says, like, something about the entire group dynamic, you know? Yeah. Oh my God. Sawyer, the guy, is like, that's Cade's art. Didn't you know that Cade's an artist? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, they're very prolific.
To be clear, if I was Mel, this is when I would have left this room. I couldn't have had, like, that would have been too much. I would have been like, I am so out of place here. And Sawyer just fucking laid into me. Like, I'm out. Gotta go. Oh, my belly. Oh, sorry. Diarrhea.
Oh, God, I'm pooping everywhere.
Yeah, I'm pooping all over.
I'm currently pooping.
Sorry, I'm prairie dogging. Gotta go. And they'd probably be like, what's prairie dogging? And I'm like, don't Google it. So Mel's like concerned because BB's like, oh, Mel, sit next to me. And Mel's like, don't you want to sit next to your wife? And she's like, oh, I see Cade all the time. It's fine. Come sit with me. And Cade's like, no, it's fine. Have fun. And then everybody starts talking about this fancy cocktail competition, which is $9,000 to enter?
What? No, it's not.
Yeah,
it was 50 bones.
I thought it was like 9,000. Somebody was talking about 9,000 came up. In my head, I remembered it as a 9,000.
No,
you're
Daniel
right,
opens his wallet and he hands her $50 and says, I'll give you the $50 to enter.
I know for a fact there's a 9,000.
Find it then, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The prize money is 200,000. Maybe there's a ratio in there somewhere. Anyway, so
continue.
BB's like, let's do a rapid fire getting to know each other situation. And every time BB talks to her, she figures out a way to like get her lips as close to Mel's ear as possible. And she'll say things like, I made the bacon in the oven. And like, it's all too sexy, you know?
Mel, that was a lot to come right into my ears unexpectedly.
Oh no, was it too loud?
No, it wasn't loud.
Oh, okay.
It was like seductive.
Okay.
I just wasn't prepared for it. You're like over here talking, and I'm like half listening, looking for this thing because I swear it was a thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I'm like, what?
I didn't know I was a Chewbacca pinup.
That was a sexy growl. Thank you.
Listen, I think Chewbacca pinup is a really nice compliment.
That was you go up into somebody's ear and you're like, and then their panties drop. That's just how that works.
No,
it's
that's science. Yeah. Stop it. Listener might be driving. How are they going to get their panties off?
I'm so sorry. Somebody get a washcloth for them.
Pull over. It's dangerous.
By the way, I can't find it, so you're
it's not in there,
right.
dude.
There's a thing in here that wasn't just 200. They were just having rich people talk. It's fine. We wouldn't
probably.
understand.
Yeah. So now Mel says, it's amazing that you cooked all of this because I can't cook for shit. And BB's like, are you serious? Because you're such a mixologist. You'd think that would transfer. And she's like, no, it absolutely does not. And then BB says, domestication is overrated anyway. That's why I tend to collect feral strays. She looked across the table at Cade and winked.
That's when my panties dropped, okay? BB is smooth, okay? BB is so fucking smooth. Like,
Quite.
Wow.
I wish I could have sex with her, you know. Golly. Couldn't, though. I would feel rejected the whole time. So then BB says, all right, now that we've got all the, where are you from, where you been, how you doing stuff going on, I want to know your biggest dream. And then Mel's like, ooh, my biggest dream is to open up my own bar. And then they have like this whole conversation about the contest and how if that's what you want to do, it's a great way to get out in front of like bar investors and people who are very rich who love a mixologist. And apparently the winner of the contest, like their drink becomes the official drink of New York City and gets served at all of like the big wig events for a year. Yeah. So it's a huge deal. And Mel, because she's so in her rut, is like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that.
So on Mel's way out, BB asks if she wants to come get lunch with her and Cade next week. And Mel has decided that, okay, I can at least have these cool new queer friends, right?
Totally.
BB's just a flirty person, right? I was picking up the wrong vibes.
Well, sorta, because Mel overhears a conversation between BB and Cade when they're downstairs. And the thing is BB looking at Cade. Well, she doesn't see them look at her, but it doesn't matter. BB says to Cade, I'm so excited.
Are you a little flustered, Mel?
Okay, so BB said to Cade, so we're agreed then? I'm going to ask her? And Cade's like, yes, love, absolutely ask her. I just want you to like be prepared if the answer is no. Like if it doesn't work out the way you want it to. And BB's like, oh, it's definitely going to work out the way I want
I'm
it to.
so in love with Kate, it's not even funny.
And then she hears them smackaroo. Oh, she hears the smacking of the making outs. And then she has to like clear her throat when she's coming down the stairs. So
Yeah, she does it super obvious. She like clop, clop, clop. Etiquette, right? This is how you enter any room, Chewbacca at them, so that they know to put it back in their pants.
Yeah.
Right? Or their mouth.
How else will they know that you're a Chewbacca pinup? How?
So we zippy zap thanks to Zippy Zack. And we...
Oh, no. Don't put it into my brain. That's all I'll be able to say.
I've been plotting it ever since that started happening. I was like, I can't wait till the next time I say Zippies. Did we get into the sugar today?
I think maybe. We got a motor, though. Holy shit.
Yeah. So anyway, we zippy zap to the
Lunch.
date. No, or not date, but yeah, lunch. And they go to this Mediterranean restaurant,
God, it
which
sounds amazing.
sounded incredible.
Yeah.
And while they're there, she finds out that this restaurant is the first restaurant that BB and Cade went to on their first official date. And she's like, what do you mean official date? And finds out a little bit about their history. They've been together for 11 years officially, but they've been fucking around for a lot longer than that.
And then BB says, but I'm here because I want to ask you out on a date. And she does like
Literally spirit.
I loved it. She goes into a full jazz pose. Yeah. So they find out that Mel is divorced at that time. And then BB's like, well, I'm glad you're single because the reason we are all here is that I want to ask you out on a date. And then Mel's like,
Cade with their comically small teacup. Cade said, just blank-faced again. My presence is merely to confirm my knowledge of the situation. Feel free to pretend I'm not even here. And then goes back to being very intent on the hummus and drinking out of their comically small teacup. And by the way, Kate is terrible at being a wall ornament because the entire rest of the conversation, they keep popping in with this dry wit
commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for example, Mel says, are you asking me out on a friend? A date? And then BB goes, like a real date. Cade and I are polyamorous, which for us means that sometimes we date people outside of our marriage, and I would like to take you out on a date as my date, who I would be dating if you wanted to go out on a date with me. And then Cade just murmurs, extremely thorough love. And BB beamed at them. Thank you. I thought so.
But also, while Mel is still in shock, she's like, wait, you mean as friends, right? And BB's like, no. And Kate says, I told you we should print up pamphlets. It would save all of us a lot of time. The entire time.
I love them.
So
I love them.
Mel is basically like, I need some time. Let me think on this.
Yeah. And to BB's eternal credit, which I could not possibly muster, she does not feel rejected at all. She says, I did say you could have time. And turns out I meant it without any emotional struggle whatsoever.
So Mel's boggling over this in her head, right? And she thinks to herself, of all the things she had considered might happen this afternoon, being propositioned by one half of a poly couple was not one of them. It sure beat the hell out of being invited to participate in a multi-level marketing scam. She had a healthy distrust of patterned leggings.
Absolutely.
This book was so funny, but not slapstick comedy.
No.
It is just delightful.
It's just clever. Yeah. Yeah, it's clever.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mel does look at Cade and they say, so are you sure you're good with this? You're totally good with this. And Cade's like, yeah, the arrangement makes us both happy, much happier than we would be if we were strictly monogamous. So yes, I am totally fine. The emphasis made it sound like this was the first time such a plebeian word had passed their lips.
And then Mel's like, wait, so like just to confirm, you're not looking for a threesome sandwich with some Mel meat? And Cade's face didn't move a muscle, though their faint distaste at the phrasing was palpable via the tilt of their head. And I saw that scene. I saw that stone-faced motherfucker just merp.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah, so she's going to have time to think about it, and they're fine with that.
So much of what we want to do can seem impossible, but the highest achievers among us are the people still striving, still reaching for something. It's those people who approach the impossible and embrace it. There's a vehicle for people like that. It's called the Defender. The Defender is an icon, reimagined for a new generation of explorers and fully equipped for 21st century adventures. 3D surround cameras with ClearSight ground view let you see underneath the vehicle and anticipate obstacles in rough terrain. And ClearSight Rear View offers an unobstructed rear view, even when you can't see through the back window. Driver aid technologies make driving and parking simpler, while intuitive driver displays are customizable to your journey. Plus, the next-generation Pivi Pro infotainment system helps make more of your world. There's a family of vehicles for Defender, too. Meet the Defender 90, Defender 110, and the 8-seat Defender 130. Are you ready to embrace the impossible? Explore the Defender at LandRoverUSA.com.
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a car. It's the two-door coupe that was there for your first drive. The hatchback that took you cross-country and back. And the minivan that tackles the weekly carpool. For the cars you couldn't live without, trust Amica Auto Insurance. Amica. Empathy is our best policy.
She goes home and tells Daniel about this, and Daniel had said it in the beginning when Mel first came to him. He was like, well, maybe they're like open. Maybe it's like a poly-related. And literally Mel was like, oh my God, Daniel's never going to shut up about the fact that he was right. And guess what? Daniel didn't. Daniel was so fucking happy. Oh, this is when Mel finds out that Daniel's in a relationship with his partner.
Yeah, and she still doesn't take it seriously.
I was so freaking annoyed with her about it.
Absolutely.
Ugh. But anyway, so a couple of important things happen. First, she decides to enter that competition. Second, she texts BB that she'd like to go on a date with her, and they come up with their rules. Bold. Guidelines for poly living with BB and Mel.
Later on, I was a little mad about this.
I was also mad about some of the modifications to rules, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Interesting. Yeah.
1, communication is everything. 2, by the way, the only reason I'm even reading all of these out loud right now specifically is I don't know how many of our I don't know what the statistic is, right, for our listeners who are familiar with polyamory, right?
Yeah.
But actually, this is a great example because this is a very specific flavor of polyamory, right?
Okay.
Because they're not starting as a throuple. So, like, for example, just for the cameras, it's very clear from the beginning. They all have their own interactions, but this is a triad.
Yes.
This is not. And so polyamory, there's a lot of different flavors of it, but this is what from get-go, this seems to be what you would generally call like kitchen table polyamory, which means you are, so BB is the paramour to both of them. Okay. BB and Mel are paramours. Cade and BB are paramours because those are her two relationships. And then because of that, they have the hinge that is BB, and Cade and Mel are metamours. Okay.
Right.
And then
they're
basically practicing. Yeah. I love it. And so they're basically practicing what would colloquially be known as kitchen table polyamory, right? Like they're comfortable being in the same rooms, areas. They talk, hear about each other. You would be essentially the way this is thought of and why it's called this, from what I understand, is you would sit down at the kitchen table with all of these people. Then there's like another kind called garden party polyamory is a very commonly used term. And basically it means like, it's not like you never interact with that person, but it's not kitchen table. You might see them at a garden party and it's fine, but they're not a part of your life. And then there's parallel polyamory, which would mean that Cade and
Mel
there's
never
different
interact.
levels of parallel, but like, yeah, exactly. And there's even different flavors within those, but that's kind of the main three variations on it. So they're essentially jumping into a polyamorous relationship, right? Because ultimately, and not everybody feels this way, I do feel this way. Like, by me being in a relationship with that person who is also in a relationship with that other person, like, I am not directly in a relationship with that person, but we definitely affect each other, right?
Of course.
Like, some people don't think of it that way. I don't understand that. But, like, essentially, it's a by proxy relationship with that person. So,
yeah.
One of the things you do, though, especially in polyamory, because with monogamy, and you can cut as much of this as you want, Mel.
Sure,
but
sure. No.
This is something that I have a lot of feelings about, because a lot of people have twisted views about polyamory.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Essentially, the only difference, because people are like, well, you have to come up with all these rules for polyamory, blah. It sounds so hard. And so guess what? Monogamy has rules too. It's just that they are societally normal, quote unquote.
Right.
And so you don't have to question, right? Like, if you say I'm in a relationship with this person, the default is you don't have sex with other people. You don't talk to other people flirtily. You don't have emotional relationships that are overly intimate with other people, and blah, blah, blah. And you might not even realize it, but you have these kinds of boundaries with your partner by having this, but you have like further conversations. For example, when monogamous, I don't give a fuck if you hold hands with your best friend, but like some people, granted I'm polyamorous, but like I have other monogamous friends who don't have an issue with that either. But a lot of people, like, that is something that would cross a line for them, even though it's all platonic, right? And so you end up doing these things. It's just not upfront.
Well, and we know that there are norms in situations like that because we have different standards for before and after a monogamous couple decides to be exclusive. If you haven't had the explicit exclusive talk, then you can't really be mad at them for doing X, Y, and Z. But after you have that exclusivity talk, burn it down, you know?
Yeah. So they come up with their rules, right? So guidelines for poly living with BB and Mel. 1, communication is everything. That should be true for all relationships.
Of course.
2, be respectful of boundaries. Everyone gets to decide for themselves what they want to hear about their partner's other partners and what they are willing to have shared of themselves. New partners may be added to anyone's personal roster so long as all involved are informed beforehand with an open discussion in mind. I don't have numbers on the rest of these. For the health and peace of mind of everyone involved, we all agreed to be tested regularly.
I don't love that regularly isn't defined. That's okay.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Though a married cohabitating couple will naturally have some joint obligations that cannot be avoided, all involved agree that there will be no power ranking of couples in the arrangement, i.e. one partner will not be held as superior or more important than the other when it comes to scheduling, distribution of affection, etc. For context, if I use
of affection made me so happy.
It is super cute. By the way, listener, if I start talking about hierarchical, that's what that means is there's no hierarchy in their relationship. And because I knew walking into this episode, I was going to start throwing out terms. That's part of the reason I gave the little lesson, because I'm going to be throwing out terms that aren't in most people's vocabulary.
Oh my God, listener, later on, Mel orders a bunch of different books on polyamory and is trying to figure out the terms. She's made herself flashcards, and like at one point, Daniel's like, okay, avoidant attachment style. And she's like, see, you guys have all the terms and you understand it. And like, I'm just like floating out here.
So I have been in the situation where I was Daniel, and like my friend basically did that because they were like, oh no, I might be polyamorous. I'm interested in this polyamorous person. And they were like talking about all these things, and they'd be like, yeah, it's like blah, 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 blah. And I'd like just throw out a term at them.
That's compersion.
Like compersion. Yeah. Because they were like, I'm just so happy for her. And I was like, oh yeah, it's compersion. And they were like, what?
Why
do you know all these terms? And I was like,
I went
welcome
to
to the lifestyle,
polyamory school.
my friend. Yeah, we had you didn't have that? Like sex ed, polyamory,
Honestly, if only, we can't even get real anatomical phrasing out there.
So
anyway.
Then we get some really specific rules. BB agrees to keep the arrangement with Mel casual as defined by. And this was wild to me.
Sure.
But that's a me thing.
I think it's wild to BB too.
Okay, so as defined by no commitments more than 3 weeks in the future, no use of the L word for any reason, and no endearments. Which, because BB is who BB is, she lawyers the shit out of Mel and is like,
I give all of my paramours like one defining endearment. Mel's like, well, I'm not going to answer to Cupcake, okay? And BB's like, well, what about Sweetheart? And she's like, okay, I will deal with Sweetheart, but no Sweetie, no Sweetums, no Sweetling.
No Sweet Cheeks.
Oh, God, Sweet Cheeks. Can you imagine somebody calling Mel Sweet Cheeks?
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
So then the rule is amended to no endearments except for Sweetheart. Variations on Sweetheart not permitted.
Uh-huh.
And now it's time for their first date. We do a little zippy zap.
Look, it goes so well. It's amazing. Instead of going to like this speakeasy that Mel had planned, BB's like, no, I want to actually get to know you. If you don't really like that place, then let's go to somewhere that's important to you. And so Mel takes her to Sal's, which was so near and dear to my heart because it's like the last super cheap dive bar in New York City. And it's full of hockey fans and like everyone is too drunk and you get a shot and a beer at this place. That is all that's on the menu. Please and
there's
thank
no
you.
cocktails here.
No.
Also, like, you don't get a beer on tap because, like, you know that
the
those
lines have not been
cleaned.
cleaned since the Reagan administration, probably.
It's a place where you should get bottled.
Yes. And, like, don't go to the bathroom. Like, you should pee in the alley before you go to the bathroom.
So this place is called Sal's, and, like, the description of it, I was like, I've definitely been there, and you don't go to the bathroom. You just go pee behind a dumpster because it's better.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, they have this talk about sexual personalities and BB's theory on sexual personalities. And that is that you are the exact opposite of what you are in real life. So for example, she is a high-powered lawyer. She makes all the decisions all day. In bed, she just wants to lay back and let you do what you want to her.
Well, but before they go, Mel says, is this your roundabout way of telling me you're a bottom? BB says, oh, sweetheart, there's nothing round about it at all. I'm a champion pillow princess. I've made bottoming an art form. I can drape myself over a mattress and let you do whatever you want to me like that. So here's the question. Do you agree with my little theory? That's less interesting. But like and boy, reading this book, she has made bottoming an art form.
Yeah,
she's
good
hot
for
as
her.
bottom.
You know, wow, she does so great. Does BB? It's it's inspired. Really, she's right about that. Anyway, so Mel is like, I'm just like dry as the Sahara over here. Cannot. So then Mel is like, well, I'm like naturally a service provider. Does that mean you think I'm like really selfish in bed? What?
Wait,
Sabrina has something to say.
Most importantly, so I've already this entire time been like, so like, when's Cade coming back? And then we find out that Cade's a dom in bed and a lot more, like not anything specific. There's no way that that's not what it's not stated explicitly, listener. But like, Mel's like, does that mean Cade? And BB's like, oh yeah, they're vivacious in bed.
So that's what I got from it. I got that Cade is really energetic and really assertive. I did not get dom.
I guess maybe I assumed that Cade was a dom because BB is so
subby. Yeah.
What she is. Yeah. Like I guess in theory she could be getting that from, because like one of the nice things about polyamory is you don't have to be 1,100% compatible with your sexual partner.
No.
Because I can go have another sexual partner who does fulfill that part of me.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I may have just been
Sabrina just wants this,
projecting
all right?
and hoping, okay, because my notes are literally all caps. Oh my God, Kate is a dominant. Like, so I was very excited, okay? I may have projected a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hopes.
Then Mel says, so if I'm the consummate service worker in my real life, does that mean I'm supposed to be self-centered in bed? And BB's eyes like, I don't know, are you? And then Mel says, I don't think so. Like, at least I haven't been. And then BB says, would you like to try? And Mel's like, what, being inconsiderate? BB's like, sure. She's like, but that's a bad thing, especially in bed. Why would you want to sleep with a self-centered person? Mel felt like she might have torpedoed her chances with BB, but better hash things out honestly before getting too involved. Didn't you listen to my whole spiel? Sex is play acting. It's doing all the things you're not supposed to do, quote unquote. She made bunny ears with her fingers. It might be kind of fun to go off the rails. As long as we're both on board, I say hurrah. You could toss me around, use me, treat me like I'm a toy. The more I talk about it, the more I'm convinced. So BB's like, do you want to take this to someplace more comfortable? And Mel is like,
let's just move
absolutely.
So, importantly, on the way out, we meet asshole Gary, who is an attorney that Blair is up against in a case right now. And the most important part is that he finds out that Mel, because Blair's BB.
Blair is her first name.
But BB is like, they can't blackmail me about the fact that I date other people because I'm not shy about it. I tell everybody about it. But we find out that Gary does find out some information from this interaction that does cause problems.
Because Mel has seen him before at the bar, and they chat about that in this conversation. So now they go to a secret rooftop bar that is the speakeasy of poly queer folks in New York City.
What a dream.
What a fucking dream.
Honestly.
What a dream.
So they go up to this closed bar top pool. Nobody's there, and it's a heated pool. In my head, it was heated. I don't know if it says it on page that it's heated.
It definitely is, yeah.
Okay, good. So they decide to go swimming in their undies. And then we have our first kiss. Because BB is all touching up on Mel's arm and real close to her because she's admiring her tattoos, which mood. And then Mel backs BB up against the ladder out of the pool and says, "You're the most gorgeous thing." And BB says, "I'm aware."
Oh.
And Mel, blood pumped through Mel's body. Everything with BB was so hot and wet and visceral. It made Mel feel powerful to be on the verge of kissing a woman as sexy, as self-assured as BB. It's so
good.
There's just something about
the kiss is
a
hot.
confident one. Yeah, this whole scene is great. So they have this beautiful messy kiss, and then BB is like, "Hey, do you wanna get out of the pool?
Do you want to take this to dry land?" is what she says. I love it. So
it's
then
cute.
Mel just puts her on top of the bar, face down. Oh, hello. What?
Hang on.
No, we're not there yet. No, sure.
Whoa.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I have to hold all my horses. Wait.
So they get out of the pool, and she is standing behind BB, kissing up on her neck and whispering in her ear. And then she's and this may be why it was so sexy. She's doing some mental brain math, looking at the bar. She's nibbling on her ear, and she's like, "Come with me. I can be a little mean." And the dirty talk in this book is pretty great.
It's pretty good.
BB is she's like, "Take what you want, objectify me. It's all good. Ooh, maybe tell me I'm bad. That could be fun." I love how BB's very much "Oh, look at this." Love that.
Shiny thing. Let's do it. And Mel's "I'm not really great at the dirty talk." And BB's like, "Well, this is the perfect time to give it a whirl. I'm a great audience." I love her so much.
Yeah.
So anyway, she drapes BB on top of that bar, face down. She's got one knee up on the bar and the other one on the ground, I think maybe. And Mel just goes in for it and goes down on her from behind.
Yeah, because like BB is like, what do I get if I go along with this tawdry little idea of yours? And Mel says, you get what I give you, which is nothing if you're not good.
And that she says that right after she spanks BB just a little bit, just a little swat.
Just a little bit, just a little.
Just a little warning, you know?
So she's like, she doesn't even take off her panties because it's so erotic to see BB in just her underwear. And so she just moves the gusset and goes to town like a champ.
Yeah. Oh my God, at one point when she's about to put her fingers in, BB pushes her ass back and she's like, yes, give me those hands. And then Mel says greedy and spanks her thigh. All of this was so hot and I was so into it, okay?
Yeah.
I was so into it. And then she like crowds up against BB and leans over her naked back. And then she says, are you done being difficult? You going to be good for me? Be good and come for me. And it's incredible. And here's where I lost it, okay? Because BB is spent, okay? She's almost passed out on the bar. And BB's like, go ahead. Like, do whatever you want. And so...
Well, hang on. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to tell this part of the scene because Mel wasn't into it.
Please do. I'm going to mess it up.
TMI, like, so the reason I understand this is, like, I get moves like this where, like, don't fuck with me. I'm just gonna take care of myself using you, essentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so she basically takes BB and she's like, there you go. You relax and let me do what I want. And BB says, go ahead. It's not like I could stop you in the state that I'm in. And Mel loves it. And so she basically just uses BB to grind on and is just going at it. And she was having so much fun going down on BB that she hadn't realized how close she was to the edge.
Yeah.
And so she just comes like a freight train.
And she's
on
surprised
BB's leg.
It's usually hard for her to come. So this is like a really incredible sexual experience for her. I just could not understand it.
Yeah, and that's okay.
So much of what we want to do can seem impossible, but the highest achievers among us are the people still striving, still reaching for something. It's those people who approach the impossible and embrace it. There's a vehicle for people like that. It's called the Defender. The Defender is an icon, reimagined for a new generation of explorers and fully equipped for 21st century adventures. 3D surround cameras with ClearSight ground view let you see underneath the vehicle and anticipate obstacles in rough terrain. And ClearSight Rear View offers an unobstructed rear view, even when you can't see through the back window. Driver aid technologies make driving and parking simpler, while intuitive driver displays are customizable to your journey. Plus, the next-generation Pivi Pro infotainment system helps make more of your world. There's a family of vehicles for Defender, too. Meet the Defender 90, Defender 110, and the 8-seat Defender 130. Are you ready to embrace the impossible? Explore the Defender at LandRoverUSA.com.
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a car or a house. It's the four wheels that get you where you're going and the four walls that welcome you home. When you combine auto and home insurance with Amica, we'll help protect it all. And the more you cover, the more you can save. Amica. Empathy is our best policy.
Just in and so good. Thousands of new fall deals have arrived at Nordstrom Rack stores, and that means thousands of fresh reasons to rack.
Because fall equals sweaters.
Why do I rack? Because check out these boots.
Because there's always something new.
Save big with up to 60% off Vince, Steve Madden, Kurt Geiger London, Theory, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
So, we zippy zap, right?
Yeah.
They had a great time that night. And Mel is super in her feelings. She's like terrified because of the way she feels about BB. She's like, oh my God, I have never done anything casual like this before. Because we find out later that Lynn was her first everything. And she makes a comment about like, what a fucking lesbian thing.
Right.
That I fucking married the woman.
I met at 17.
and had sex with for the first time, and then we U-hauled and shacked up and got married at 21.
And I spent my entire 20s paying off the credit cards for the farmhouse wedding she insisted on.
And like she's talking about like what a lesbian stereotype, and I was like, I mean,
you're not wrong.
Not gonna say that that's a lot of lesbians I know, but like I'm also not gonna say that's not most of the lesbians that I know, you know?
So throughout all of this, we're seeing like scenes of them living and going on dates and stuff, but we're also seeing scenes of her trying out different like cocktail things because she's still trying to work toward this cocktail competition. She's like making special apple compote or something at her restaurant so that she can put it into a really sturdy
bourbon. Okay.
I don't know. There was like a lot of cooking and stewing and stuff.
These are science cocktails, okay?
I
She's
hear
a
you.
mixologist. She's an alcohol scientist.
And I am just a lady in the world.
I'm just a lady who spent a lot of her early 20s drunk. You know,
That's
I'm
fair.
not worried about that apple infused bourbon.
Unless it's jalapeno vodka, I'm probably not going to pick up the notes. You know,
I just need a $2 Mickey's, a shot of Jameson, and a pickleback, and we are good, okay?
Oh my God, we sound so trashy. And it's like, not wrong. You know?
No, it's not. Like, that was my go-to. If it wasn't $2 Tuesday where you got double well drinks, or it wasn't $5 pitcher Thursday where you got a pitcher for $5, and then it was a $2 Mickey's and a shot of Jameson with a pickleback. Because guess what? That's what got you there, okay?
That's fair enough. I was more of a
I'm not a
bourbon
terror
rocks
and
girl.
virtue.
Yeah. I was more of a bourbon rocks, you know, or like
See,
something
that's
similar.
classy though.
Is it?
I don't know bourbon on the rock. Yeah, like classy people. You
Actually,
can go
Jameson
into,
too. Jameson on the rocks, quite a bit.
And let me say, there's a big difference between can I get a Jameson on the rocks and can I get a shot of Jameson with a pickleback, please? Those are two. You can do one of those at Terror and Virtue, right? And one of the and that does not involve pickles. Okay.
That's fair. Well,
so
listen, I just have a clumsy palate is really what it boils down to, you know? Michael pegged me with my clumsy palate a long time ago, so if it's not garlic and salt, then like maybe shove a jalapeno in there and I'll get it, you know? Like, I'll understand.
Have you ever had jalapeno vodka?
Yeah. There's this place in Jersey City that used to do all infused vodkas. And so we would go and we would get like, you know, we would choose a vodka and like all do martinis of it. And whew, good stuff. One of them was jalapeno vodka and it was magical. Anyway, so now they're on a date. And as they're walking through the city, BB's like, I have a weird idea and you don't have to be into it at all. We could either go to one of our places and bone down real hard, or we could go to Cade's gallery opening if you wanted. And Mel is horrified that Cade's wife is not at their gallery opening. She's like, what are you talking about? And BB's like, oh no, they have gallery openings like all the time. I couldn't possibly be at all of them. And Cade doesn't have time for me at them anyway, but let's go.
Well, and also specifically, Cade didn't have an issue with it because they're like, I know it's hard for you and Mel to find time together. Don't worry about it.
Cade.
And I just another reason to be madly in love with Cade.
I mean,
you know?
honestly.
Like, there's just not many reasons not to be madly in love with Cade, right?
Quite, yeah. So this is where we see that, like, the copper stamp
etching.
Is an etching is what
Stamping.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it does stuff that talks about her childhood and estrangement from your mother.
So anyway, more importantly, More importantly, the part that Mel and I understood involved alcohol, apparently.
Well, no, and it involved being a hot mess. This poor thing.
But also being on a date. Like, I've never felt more seen than Mel being on a date, seeing somebody else struggle at something that, like, is no problem for you. And you're like, you're like, hang on, I'm going to need you to pause. I'll come back to you. I'm going to go take care of this sad piece of shit real quick.
No, and I felt the same way.
Because guess what? I've been that sad piece of shit. So I'm going to help that sad piece of shit if I can.
Absolutely. So this girl, like, drops 4 bottles of wine, and she's, like, crying, and she's obviously exhausted. And so Mel goes over and gets down at her level and helps her clean up. And she's like, here's what's going to happen. You are going to take a 20. You are going to go do whatever you need to do to, like, pull yourself together. Take a minute, get a bagel, have a cigarette, like, whatever you need to do, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to handle the bar, and then you can come back. And she's like, what? No, my company would fire me. And Mel's like, those pieces of shit did not give you any backup whatsoever, and they're not here. So I'm going to take care of it. And, like, what's the worst that can happen? Am I going to make off with the bar? Like,
with this shitty wine?
Yeah, with this
Mel's internal
wine.
monologue about alcohol this entire book
love
is
it.
so funny.
Yeah, it's so good. And so this girl, like, crumples, and she's like, thank you so much. And she leaves. Mel handles the whole bar, and then she looks up, and what?
She looks up, and Cade walks up looking like a goddamn snack.
Like a dreamboat.
Cade is wearing fuchsia eyeliner, a sleeveless black jumpsuit, and a frown.
Sabrina is basically biting their fist.
I felt so guilty at this point in the book because, like, I was so aware.
You were aware of your preference?
Well, this is the problem this is very much a, like, absence makes the heart grow fond. I was so obsessed with Cade, like, hoping Cade would show up because I knew that it would happen. Like, if I knew that Cade was not going to be a big part of this, right, then I would have been like, man, I really love Cade, but, like, I think I would have been way more into Mel because I did not fully appreciate Mel. I did not start finding Mel, like, super crazy hot until Cade was, like, active in the book, and I wasn't constantly going, where's Cade?
What's Cade doing?
What's Cade doing? Like,
when are they
once
coming
I knew
back?
Cade, once Cade was there, right? Then I was like, oh, okay.
You can focus on
and then
whatever
I was
else
like,
is happening.
I was like, oh shit, Mel's also a real fucking, god damn it. Like, damn, I missed out on a whole 200 pages of Mel being hot because I was like, Cade.
Anyway, so Cade comes over and they're like, do you work for the catering company too? She's like, no, like, never mind. It's fine. I'm too long of a story. It's fine. And so and then she gets them some water.
And says, by the way, your art's super cool.
So
wow,
cool.
That was a really shitty review. and Cade goes,
I've had worse.
I've had worse. And then BB shows up and she's like, Cade, go mingle, go talk to, like, go do your grand opening things. Like, go. And she gave her wife a gentle push, and Cade went with minimal grumbling. And I could just see them with that cup of water, like, up to their mouth, being like, I don't want to fucking go.
I know.
People. And oh my god, literally my note right here is, I'm so in love with Cade. It's not even funny. Aren't I supposed to be into Mel and BB right now?
So then BB comes up and she's like, Mel, honestly, that was incredible. She went and got this girl a bagel sandwich or whatever. And Mel thought that was so sweet and so hot. So BB comes in and she's like, Mel, that was absolutely everything. Like, this is the reason I like you so much. You're so kind. And Mel panics.
Mel doesn't respond.
No, she
Mel's
panics.
Like, fuck. And she waits too long.
Because
and then the mood
she
is gone.
wants to tell BB that she really likes her back, but that would sort of break the rule and she's meant to keep it casual and like that was her idea and then it's too long and like now BB thinks she hates her maybe. Who knows? Probably not though.
Which Mel or BB, like, but I was both of them in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we zippy zap. Mel finds out that Terror and Virtue is being bought by some hospitality group and she's like, fuck, we're gonna go downhill from here. Like, I need to start figuring my shit out.
And she feels really bad that, like, she did that to BB. They haven't spoken in a couple of days, and it's getting weird. She doesn't know what to do.
Like you said, they haven't really been talking a whole lot, but she texts BB about she's like, oh my God, Terror and Virtue's getting bought by Sunspot, and it sucks. And then BB leaves her on red for the first time.
Yeah.
And Mel spirals.
Relatable.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mel doesn't hear back from BB,
Yeah.
right? And thinks something's wrong and goes to check on BB
Yeah.
instead of hiding in their house and assuming that BB never wants to talk to them again. Specifically because this is after the scenario where BB says, I like you so much.
Oh, God.
And I fucked up.
Accidentally rejected you.
You would have to drag my dead corpse to the door. That is the only way that I would show up at that door unannounced. Is somebody else dragging my lifeless body.
That's
or like
fair.
knocking me out.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Immediately though, the minute BB wasn't responding,
You Sherlock Holmes it?
Holmes this so fucking hard. Because the
I did
minute
not.
BB didn't respond to that text, I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fucking right.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were.
right.
So BB comes to the door and she's like, oh my God, Mel. Oh yeah, it's Monday. Did we have plans and I forgot? And Mel's like, no, I just wanted to see if you were alive. Because like we haven't spoken in a minute. And BB's like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Come on in. And like the apartment is disheveled. There are papers everywhere. BB throws a bunch of papers into a drawer and then distracts her with sexy times.
2 red flags there, by the way. Continue.
Yeah, exactly. And then Mel comes downstairs late at night because she's on a restaurant schedule, a bartender schedule. Kate is down there lurking and drinking an herbal tea.
In a mostly unbuttoned button down and spandex bike shorts, notably. I'm just if anybody was wondering.
And we all were, you know?
I knew that.
So they have this talk.
Is this the first time that I've been this unhinged about a character on pod?
For sure. No, absolutely. We were close with Chris from Devon and Chris, but you are at another level.
I can't.
Okay, so they have a whole talk, and Kate is like, I just wanted to make sure things are okay with you and BB. And Mel's like, did she give you an indication things are not okay? And Kate's like, I mean, she's been a little weird. And Mel's like, yeah, I've sort of sensed the same thing. That's actually why I'm here unannounced. And I'll let you know if I find anything out.
Yeah, and they had, this was such a real metamor conversation to have, where, because Cade and Mel haven't really interacted a whole lot, there's been a lot of rules and boundaries put in place with BB as Hinge, but, what can we talk about? That hasn't been discussed, right?
And what's gossiping,
oh my God.
and what's breaking
and it was,
confidences.
It was so fucking real.
But then Mel is like, okay, so this means, we're on the same team now? And Cade is slumps at the counter and is like, haven't we always been on the same team? And she's like, oh no, I fucked that up too. Yeah, of course. And it was,
well, and then Cade is like, okay, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to go, do the thing. And Cade says, help yourself to whatever you need. What's mine is yours. Ha! Good one, Mel said with a soft snort. Polyhumor. Cade just stared at her. Oh, right. They'd never stoop so low as to crack a joke. Which, pardon me, Mel, I got real defensive for Cade in that moment because I was like, Cade is very funny. Cade,
you just don't
Cade cracks
understand
a lot of jokes.
You just can't notice where they are,
So Mel decides to work on her drink. And when she's looking for a corkscrew, opens up a drawer and accidentally sees the paperwork that BB hid earlier. And the minute that happened, I was like, ka-chow. I was right.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Later on, she tells BB, it's not like I went looking for it. And, like, that's true.
That's accurate.
But there was definitely a moment in which she opened the door, recognized it as a confidential law paper, and then was like, I told Kate I'd find some stuff out anyway, so I'm going to keep snooping. Like, that's not okay.
So we zippy zap
to the next morning.
Yep. Mel has not slept.
No.
She is sitting on the couch with all of those papers on the coffee table in front of her, and I was so fucking angry at her. This was such an inappropriate way to handle this.
Yes.
Like, it was inappropriate that you read those at all. But then I had such problems with both BB and Mel.
Okay.
In this argument. So BB realizes what happened immediately. Like, she sees the paperwork on the table, and she's like, oh my God, you weren't supposed to know about that. And Mel's like, about the fact that you're getting blackmailed by Gary because I work for TNV and he represents Sunspot Group.
And you're taking Sunspot to court in a class action lawsuit? Essentially, Sunspot bought TNV because they want to create a conflict of interest for BB and get her thrown off the case because she's like too good at her job. So they get in this huge fight, and Mel is not fair and BB is not fair, and it blows up into oblivion, and Mel thinks they're broken up now. Like, she storms out. It's terrible.
And so she is sad about it. They haven't talked in a couple of days. She's already talked to Daniel about it. Like, oh my God, we're over, and I'm so sad about it. Oh, also, just importantly, Mel got a text message from an unknown number, and it says, "This is Cade. Contact me if you want to talk. Ignore this if you don't." Because Cade's precious and sweet and wonderful.
It's the best.
So BB shows up while Mel's working and is like, Mel's like, I'm too busy to talk to you. And BB was like, well, I'll wait. And Mel's like, you're going to be waiting a long time.
And then she's like, I saw the hurt in BB's eyes, and I realized in that moment, like, what my life would look like if she really did walk away forever. And so they have this talk, and Mel's like, why are you even here? And BB's like, I just need to let you know that I recused myself from the case. And then Mel's like, okay, so you recused yourself to get me back? And then BB's like, are we broken up? And Mel's like, aren't we? And BB says, are you asking me? Because I think my answer would be very different from yours. And then they basically get to the point where BB's like, no, it doesn't matter. I was being stubborn. But the standard is I need to recuse myself if I'm personally invested in the outcome. And I am unequivocally personally invested in you. And so, of course, that's going to fuck me up professionally. And then Mel says, you sound like you're in love with me. And then BB, like, sort of looks down and she goes, you told me not to say anything. Like, I'm trying to respect your wishes. And then Mel is like, I'm in love with you too. And so now they're together and it's serious and they're gonna redo the guidelines and they can use the L word now and it's encouraged for all the reasons. And then she decides to ask if Mel wants to go on a swimming trip. Nope. If Mel wants to go on a skiing trip. And that's where we're going to leave you for today. Be sure to come back tomorrow for a snowed-in vacation with only one fireplace. See you then! Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the wonderful author Kate Pryor, who has a new release out, Mated to My Ex. Go check it. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, and then maybe rate us 5 stars and leave a review. That small action is a huge help in growing our show. If you want to get in touch for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosoms@gmail.com. And if you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosoms podcast. You can also find us on all the socials, practically. Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, Threads too, TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. All right, I'll see you tomorrow with the second part. Bye.
So much of what we want to do can seem impossible, but the highest achievers among us are the people still reaching for something, the ones who aren't satisfied to stay where they are and want to keep climbing higher. It's those people who approach the impossible and embrace it. There's a vehicle for people like that. It's called the Defender. The Defender is an icon, reimagined through thoroughly modern design. It's got a tough, rigid body design and durable, lightweight monocoque architecture for extra strength. With precise detailing and compelling proportions, the exterior of the Defender is designed with integrity. This is a vehicle capable of great things, engineered to meet challenges head-on, with an exterior that's been tested to the extreme. Experience the Defender's legendary capability, off-road and on. And there's a family of vehicles for Defender. Meet the Defender 90, Defender 110, and the 8-seat Defender 130. So are you ready to embrace the impossible? Explore the Defender at LandRoverUSA.com.
Every day, our world gets a little more connected, but a little further apart. But then, there are moments that remind us to be more human.
Thank you for calling Amica Insurance.
Hey, I was just in an accident.
Don't worry, we'll get you taken care of.
At Amica, we understand that looking out for each other isn't new or groundbreaking. It's human. Amica, empathy is our best policy.